Hello, my fellow stitchers. Before jumping into the tutorial, I wanted to thank you so much for your immense support. I got a ton of emails, encouraging supports, and very kind words, which is very heartwarming as I'm launching this product. Thank you all. Without further ado, let's go into the tutorial. Just like what I did, let's dust off our embroidery machines and create some real quick Thanksgiving themed embroidery designs. Let's go. All you have to do now is open a browser on any computer and any browser that you have. No dongles, no installation, easy peasy. Our domain is embroidery.us, and that's it. And this will bring you to our homepage. Now, I promised a tutorial on Thanksgiving themed designs. Some of you are a lot more artsy and have drawings of your own, in which case you can upload your own image. But I just want to use AI to generate a design real quick, see where it takes us. So the more details I provide to the AI, the better it can capture what I have in mind. Let's try a couple different keywords. What I want is a single maple tree leaf that has autumn color palette. But let's try from a simple keyword to a more complex keyword to see what it gives us. So if I just simply type leaf, let's see what it'll give us. Might take a couple seconds. Image generated. Now it's converting it to styles. So this is not so bad. It does have a couple blue colors. I don't mind it, but I wanted a maple tree leaf, which this didn't generate because I didn't tell it to do so. So let's say maple tree leaf. Let's generate. Excellent. For some reason, it thought the way I did and created the theme that I needed. So in this case, I'm not going to retry, but if you have more detail in mind, obviously you have to go back and try longer prompts. Usually 5 is the minimum number of keywords that gives you a good result, and then you can go all the way to 10 or 15 keywords. Longer, probably I'll throw an error. There are a variety of designs. Let me go and try this design, even though the colorful ones are pretty cool. This is an approximate preview of the leaf. It's definitely going to look different when the stitch file is ready. The reason why it's preview is because I wanted to quickly compute so you have an idea of like how is it gonna look like. But the stitching would take a bit, the computing the stitch pattern would take a bit longer, and that's why I didn't want you to wait for that. I like orange. Let's apply changes. Not so bad. Usually it looks a lot better when you do stitching. And this has 7 colors. I think it's unnecessary to dedicate 7 colors. I think it would look just as good with 5 colors. I mean, obviously I want it to be as easy to stitch as possible. Yeah, it like aesthetically is the same thing. I wouldn't go less than 3 colors. It's just much more fun to see more texture there. All right, I'm happy with this. Let's stitch it. For this design, I'm gonna go 6 by 6. Submit. This is the part of the process that takes the longest, and that's why here we have an opportunity to look at some tutorials for the next designs we have in mind. This can take something between 1 minute to 10 minutes, but this design took less. As I mentioned, the final design would look different. Um, and then here you have your threads that you could either purchase, because we have the ticket number and the maker of the threads, or you could get more creative and choose a thread from the collection of threads that you all have. All right, excellent. This is a cool design. What I don't love about it is that it's kind of not natural for a leaf. Let me try this design. I'm going to hit apply changes, making sure whatever I have here is actually applied. This looks like a nice design. If I stitched it with probably like orange on black, it would look great. Orange on white would look good too. A little bit more details would give it better texture. And I'm just gonna see how this stitched version would look like. Probably what you see in the preview is closer to what this stitch will look like, because it's simpler to approximate how stitch file is. And there it is. Very simple, yet beautiful and complex. Perfect for what I wanted to create. Just gonna download it. And it is also in my library, so I can download it again later. All right, here's the design. I don't need any other software. I could just use the .pes format amongst other formats. That's my format because I have a brother machine. But all the formats that are offered will cover almost all the machines. Again, no software is needed. However, I have a free software, Inkscape, that has a plugin, Inkstitch, and I can preview my design and see its density, etc. before I go and put it on the machine. But that's optional step. Here's the file that I downloaded on my system. When I double click on it, it would extract the zip files to the files that I can actually open and work with. But depending on your operating system, you may need a variety of different methods to extract the files. Contained in this zip file, I have a list of threads. This one was a one color design, so I just have one. And then there's a rendering of the design that you can see in image format. And my machine is Brother, so PES is the format that works for me. Again, you have a variety of other formats that you should pick the one that works with your machine. When I double click on it, because I have the software that opens embroidery files, I could see the .pes file as well. So when I open my file, this is the Inkscape environment with the extension Inkstitch, where I can see my .ps file. On my channel, you can find a tutorial as to how to access and download this free software, but also you could search on YouTube. There are a variety of amazing tutorials that you can follow. Here, we don't need anything to do except for kind of previewing the design. I could also use simulation. As you can see, I'm going to Inkstitch, visualization and simulator. This is how it opens on simulation. It's showing me how it stitches. Looks quite optimized, and there's some visualization of lines you can see here. Some machines interpret that as jump stitches, in which case you can clean it up with scissors, and some more modern machines interpret that as trims, which is what you actually want. All right, I'm ready to go and put this on my machine. Thank you so much for watching. If there's any comment, if you want other tutorials with other themes and designs, just hit me up in the comments.